Hello, I am Preston Gardner, and this is my curators project for humanities. When many people think of ancient Egypt, the main thing that sticks out to them is the pyramids. While pyramids like those at Giza are some of the most recognizable structures on Earth, they actually belong to an earlier period of Egyptian history, which is the most famous. Later on, Egyptian rulers chose a very different and a much more secretive place for their burials. This place was known as the Valley of Kings. The Valley of Kings is located in Upper Egypt on the west bank of the Nile River, across from the city of Thebes, which is modern-day Luxor. The Egyptians believed the west was associated with death and afterlife because that is where the sun set each day. So because of this, it made perfect sense that they would choose for their burial location to be on the west. The valley was primarily used during the period known as the New Kingdom, which lasted from about 1550 to 1070 BC. This was a powerful time in Egyptian history when famous pharaohs like Ramses II, Seti I, and even the famous King Tut ruled. Instead of building large pyramids, these rulers had their tombs carved deep into the limestone cliffs of the valley. One major reason for this shift was security. The pyramids were architectural genius structures. They were very impressive, but they were also obvious targets for grave robbers, which were very common during the early Egyptian period. Over time, ancient Egyptians realized that hiding tombs underground in a remote valley would make a lot more sense and would protect the pharaohs' treasures and their gifts that they would send them into the afterlife. While tomb raiding still happened to the Valley of Kings, it was a much more discreet place than the giant pyramids that were visible for miles. So what exactly is the Valley of Kings? It is a desert valley containing more than 60 known tombs and chambers. Archaeologists label them using the abbreviation KV, which stands for Kings Valley, followed by a number. For example, KV 62 is the location of the tomb of King Tut. Each tomb was carefully designed and held deep religious meaning. Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was divine and that after death, he would join the gods in the afterlife. Preserving the pharaoh's body through mummification was essential because the soul needed a physical form to recognize. That is why tombs were filled with the immense gifts such as jewelry, treasures, food, furniture, and religious texts. They would help the king survive in the afterworld. The walls of the tombs are extremely fascinating. They are covered in paintings and hieroglyphics which have seemed to last over 3,000 years. These images are not just decoration, they depict scenes from the sacred funerary texts such as the Book of the Dead, the Amudat, and the Book of Gates. These texts were guides to the afterlife, describing the dangerous journey the pharaoh's soul had to make before reaching eternal life. One of the most famous tombs in the Valley of Kings belongs to King Tut, often regarded as the most famous Egyptian ruler. He ruled for only about 10 years and died around the age of 18, and unlike many other tombs within the valley, his was relatively small. However, it is the most famous because it was found almost completely intact. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered King Tut's tomb after years of searching. Inside, he found thousands of priceless artifacts, including his iconic gold mask, jewelry, and the things that were common within Pharaoh's tombs. The discovery shocked the world and sparked global interest surrounding ancient Egypt that still exists today. Ironically, though, King Tut's tomb survived because it was quickly covered by debris and later construction, which hid it from ancient robbers. Most other tombs in the Valley of Kings had been looted long before modern archaeologists arrived. Another important figure buried nearby is Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great. He was one of Egypt's most powerful pharaohs and ruled for over 60 years. His reign was marked by military victories, massive building projects, and monuments that still stand today. His tomb reflects his status with long corridors, detailed carvings, and elaborate work meant to emphasize his strength and divine role. Even though the Valley of Kings has been studied for almost 200 years, archaeologists are still making new discoveries there. New chambers, tools, and evidence about construction methods continue to be found today. And today, the Valley of Kings is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Egypt's most popular tourist destinations. So in conclusion, the Valley of Kings is more than just a burial ground. It is a window into ancient Egyptian religion, art, engineering, and beliefs about life after death.